just animosity just pouring out my skull. Just.
You say Oni killed your family?
Yes. Not afraid of 100 demons.
I've never met, besides my own, I've never met another Oni before. What are they like?
Big scary things.
I wish to meet them. Could you show me?
No, you don't.
No, I'd very much like to meet them. I've never met another of my kind outside of the... let's see.
Okay, everyone, into the tavern. No more talking in the middle of the street. Before we get
outside.
I really don't know if I should go back in there.
We're going right back in there, and you're going to be taking a swim in that base.
You return through the threshold of Barca's wet dream.
Thank you.
Okay, so you're all going in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there any open tables, or are we about to kick?
You'll have to pull some together. You have to pull some together to get the whole group.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, sorry for the noise.
As you do that, you hear in protest a familiar voice, perhaps to you. In one of the side tables, you see sitting there the swordsman from the battle prior in the arena.
The swordsman.
Who you're just trying to have a quiet meal.
Yeah, I am.
In a loud-ass tavern?
Everybody's being a nuisance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we're a completely loud, ridiculous.
Because we're a D&D party. And that's what we do.
I taste the swill, and in another person's voice that I've heard when I was a kid, I said, "This tastes like ass."
I don't recall our fight, but from what I heard, we both put up a really good fight, and then I was wanting to drink.
Oh, I believe me, you would have remembered, but I'm sure you were out of your element at the time.
I did something, and I just don't remember any of the fight.
That's understandable. I did smack you on the head pretty good.
Special.
I imagine you would have had to smack me pretty hard.
Friendly rivalry, I love it.
I'm wanting to buy the swordsman a glass of milk.
I'll share food with Bam because I know I'm gonna have trouble eating all mine.
I
haven't seen my little buddy in a
glass
while.
of milk's probably 2 copper.
Yeah, I'm kind of cold for you. Let me just break this $100 bill here.
I'm over here.
Here, I tell you what, I will buy it since I have the copper.
That will be $2. You have change for 100.
Some ass.
Hack store, that hurts.
I know.
No.
Yeah, give me a minute.
Just so you know, I'm over here plowing the food in my face like it.
So, just to make sure, he gave me this, which is the coppers I was going to give you change. Is he paying for you, or is this...
I'll pay
He's
for it.
gonna buy the glass of milk for the swordsman for me. Because
Okay.
we're all a team.
So you're not getting any food, or are you buying something?
You say
He
we're
said
all
I
a
was-
team, meanwhile
This is my platter.
Laura's all by
I'll
He said I was just
Streets.
gonna eat with him. I'll just eat the scraps, whatever.
Yeah, whatever I don't eat.
Okay, so literally 2 copper was handed to me for
Yeah.
a glass of milk. We have milk in the fridge, so
Goblin Slayer.
He says we are a team, meanwhile Aros is wandering his milk all by his lungs.
Yeah, is Aros with us?
We all are getting wasted.
Yep.
Arno's with us. He didn't leave yet.
he gets himself some food too with the money you guys gave him.
Oh, I bet he hasn't eaten for that.
Make
Well,
sure
yeah,
you
he's
get him
emaciated.
plenty of lemons. Some lemons to go.
Just a plate of
Balasar has money on him too. He's gonna buy himself some food too, because why not? So
Aros
Aros,
has
26 gold,
It's gonna be like
5 silver.
You know, we could have simplified this process considerably by literally grouping everyone together with 2s and just have one person give up a goal.
Nah.
It's the logistics of people trying to order at once. That's always the deal that we have in reality.
He's paying tip.
There's no tip. You just
tips.
yeah. Balasar has an indiscriminate amount of money. He pays for his own meal. because he does have
That's what
gold.
the DM needs.
Yeah. Belisar.
Gotta love the
Officially-
He's the other
DMPCs.
Dragonborn.
He's got what he
Oh.
needs.
The
Don't you
old
ask,
guy.
Don't you worry.
Them with a keyboard.
GP question mark 5 SP. So you all have food. Are you, I guess you guys sit up along the swordsman.
Join us.
That's literally what I'm saying.
I don't understand a word you're saying, first of all, unless you're speaking.
Speak common.
I speak
Broken.
He speaks common, like Yoda.
I mean, I'm already at a table. I'm already got the whole spread.
They probably pulled the tables over to you.
Oh yeah.
I'm just like trying to eat. Man.
He's like, can you guys settle down? And they're just like,
Oh, hey! What we need to do? We need to surround him.
Here's you some milk.
We need to surround him with our table, so he's like at the center, so he has to move our tables to leave.
Basically, you're calling this.
oh my god, you guys place the tables around him, and then you're on the outside looking at him as you eat.
Round tables.
This is the start of the round table.
The round tables.
This is the start of me being able to leave it.
This is the start.
How?
The start of the
You're trapped.
I'll flip the table if I have to.
Okay, you guys,
Find Bam and just.
you guys pay for a bunch of food. You guys,
No, we're not gonna bother.
you guys pay for a bunch of food. Some of it's brought out early because it's like bread and whatnot. You guys get some broth, and you get some other like some meats and stuff like that brought out to you shortly after.
I feel like Janster's just going to town because it's the first real meal he's had in a decade.
You get like you get like
bread, the meat, and everything like that. That's my portion, all into the bowl. Just a nice mashed pot.
I'm just murdering my
Slaps
food.
his face into his plate.
Yeah, here's Keldry over here. Just
you see you guys you guys remember Deadpool D Pity where he would just slam his slam his head into a cardboard table and
Jesus Christ.
How D&D players eat their food.
I pull out my little ghost set, and I'm just like, so, would anyone like to learn how to play this game?
I'd be down.
No thanks.
But at this current time, I have too much going on in my head.
this would be
I'll be too
a
drunk to remember.
this would be you guys learning a proficiency in a gaming set. Should you wish to go into it?
I'd be willing. I got nothing to do.
Kildry probably knew of it before, so it's up to him whether he chooses to go into it.
Yeah, I'm with
I-
Mr. Jansen.
I don't-
I'll learn.
I'm not gonna play with Oni.
And-
Alright. So, two. Let's learn.
I'll pass just because
Aros-
I'm going to be doing plenty of drinking.
Aros raises his hand, and Balasar turns to Shamash and is like, what is he saying? Because again, he doesn't understand the common.
Oh, do you want me to explain to him?
It's up to you. It's like it's just like he doesn't
I just
understand.
tell him they're talking about a game.
Oh.
I don't understand either. Don't worry about it.
have a party.
I know, like all of us speak Draconic. It's like I think me, the NPC.
I can learn
said-
it.
Who? Okay, raise your hand if you know Draconic. Obviously the Dragonborn.
I can learn it pretty quickly.
Okay.
It's about half our party. It's
So
about half our party. I want to get you learned.
who took him up on the teaching of the game?
Me and Bam.
You didn't know.
I can just start speaking in Infernal over here and
Well,
confuse the
Draconic.
fuck out of
I thought
everyone.
All right, so you pull your gaming set out.
And I pull out my guns.
Do you put it on the center of the table or what?
They're at least
Don't make me
closer to
bring
me,
out my gun.
and if they want to move over, if I can.
Yeah, you probably take seats with those who wanted to play, and Bam and Janster were sharing food anyway.
Yeah. So I
So
bring it over to like salt, and for brevity's sake, I just very enthusiastically, with very broken English, explain the rules and stuff.
the basics.
The basics.
Yes, tell me the rules.
We're
Choose a color.
I watched the cartoon. I know how to play Go.
I actually
You have to pick.
I know that
You
I
have to pick
shit you
black
not, the
or
only
white.
time I've ever played
So
Go
is it-
was in Warframe. That's it.
Is it kind of like Chinese checkers?
I kinda.
It's like a strategy game.
It's a strategy game. Basically, your goal is to basically
Surround
another color with 4 others, and then you cap it.
I couldn't tell you, but I love the manga.
Like I said, the only experience I had was like it was a mini game in Warframe, and I was like, this is actually cool.
It's a traditional gaming set that has an etiquette to it, just like anything else. Which this is based
It's
on.
kind of like a mix.
It's a Japanese game.
Is it kind of like a mix of Othello and Chinese checkers?
I don't know.
Okay.
I know. Like I said, I've had one exposure to it, and
you guys don't physically have to learn it in the group here. It's just
my character is really good at it.
It's up to you whether you want to learn a game
This is RP for RP.
RP, yeah.
Sadly, I gotta bring stuff up with the entirety of the group to get the last okay before I go digging into politics even more.
This is a perfect time for that.
Yes.
So
I didn't expect everyone and their mother to be here, plus their retainer. Alright, guys. So, I've already been establishing groundwork to getting us established as an independent unit under the mercenary organization, using Shamash as a envoy of a separate nation, so we would be technically a diplomatic unit.
Diplomatic community.
It's not exactly what we would be anyways.
No, what we were going to be the other way around was literally a bunch of initiates.
You just
a lot of political hellhole there.
Backtracking for the sake of me being DM and giving the info, the Suffates suggested you join the Mercenary League in order to gain access to ships to go tackle the raider problem. The mercenaries, unlike the Navy, are free to go wherever they choose because they're essentially the land force that the state sponsors. That's their primary military on land. The Navy itself is state-run, and they're holding back the raiders. Right. The mercenaries can move about because that's how they get their reinforcements and go from island to island and land to land and get more reinforcements and all
their
that.
Actual Navy is kind of like on defense, and they can't really do much more.
They're holding it back to where they can just get enough resources from their outer colonies along the shorelines and the islands that they have influence over, and get a little bit of access to the city-states to the east. Not enough trade is going through to seem like it's going to be sustainable in the future. That's why they're stressing over this. It's food, it's coin, it's people being stopped on the seas because these raiders are such a huge issue.
So the traders, everything, literally this city is being choked to death by the raiders.
Yeah.
So they're basically
soon
disrupting supply
lines. Raider
lines.
city because they can literally just come ashore and pick the dead bodies clean.
Yeah. It's like a siege, but it's more elaborate.
Methodical.
It's a regional-sized siege.
Yeah.
Well, I've never been a big fan of raiders in general, so you have my vote. I'd be willing to do what it takes.
Does he have your sword?
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
You have my sword and my magic.
Thank you.
From sorcerer to sorcerer.
Alright, so
was this conversation before or during?
I feel like we're kind of like
I'm just making sure that we're not overhearing this because we're.
Well,
like I said, is this?
Again, he more or less interrupts you guys while you're like trying to lay out some basics. So you could still in the process be like pointing out stuff, but at the same time, this is a very pressing issue that he's trying to grab everyone's attention. So it might be just interrupted for now.
Because I was going to say, you two would have heard the comment I made, that he made, in response to him. He said the city's being strangled by these bandits, and I was like, think about that, large hands. So, carry on.
I choke on my piece.
Essentially, it pauses. It pauses what you're doing, and you can probably resume that later once you've gone through the dialogue. But go ahead.
And long legs.
Anybody talking? Anybody?
Babel was going to continue, but you want to interject? Go ahead.
I was going to ask.
This is your scene.
I was going to ask Swordsman. Was their battle strategy?
Oh, the raiders.
Killing and choking out killing out the raiders. I'll say this in presentation.
That he knows.
I want to say this in presentation, so no, there's no confusion.
In all honesty, I have no idea what their aims are, but they're bold in trying to do what they're trying to do. The only strategies I really know of is mostly their naval strategies, which is weaken the navies that exist now, and plunder the seas, and maybe even try to attack the city.
Are they trying to form an empire?
We don't know.
It's not my place to say.
From what you've seen and heard.
The Rangers or the mercenaries?
The Raiders.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
I feel they're a little too decentralized to try and form a government, but it's not out of the question.
You don't always need centralization to form a government. There's a reason that republics exist.
It's probably like Fallout Nuka-Cola.
Nuka World.
Different families agreeing to work together. It's not unheard of.
But this is out of player talk. It's just
I get what you're saying.
Sheehan does kind of try to get around here.
Because if they start coordinating, we're screwed. There won't be trade at that point. Except for those good runners that can get through.
Well, that's why you keep attacking them at sea and wherever else we can.
Speak up if you have to.
Sheehan kind of interrupts. I do hate to interrupt your conversation, but I'm not from here, clearly. So, and you guys use some terminology I'm not quite familiar with. So, what exactly is going on out here?
Bad guys on enemy boat trying to sink and steal all the shit we own that are coming here.
Oh, it sounds very unfortunate. You and your friends, are you personally trying to intervene or something?
Yes.
We were basically...
We are hired by this nation to handle the problem, and we are trying to establish ourselves politically to be able to do this on our own free will.
Are these raiders, you say, are they particularly strong?
Unknown. I think that's more of a question for you.
Well, if it is not too much to impose, would you like my help?
Yeah, I said you can come along. If you don't mind putting your life on the line.
I always enjoy putting my life on the line.
I do say something in like I say like a dwarven curse. Like son of a bitch, or just the son of a bitch.
Who speaks Dwarven?
I speak
just
Dwarven.
What do you say?
I pretty much just say son of a bitch.
I am not familiar with much of anything, to be honest.
Strength is unknown, but they are a very large force. They are causing major trade issues here.
But your rock seems very interesting, at the very least. I do believe, for my own sake, that it might be worth my own time to stay around with you guys and see what happens. In one day, I have done so much new stuff, and I've only walked the streets. So, alright, I guess I will be accompanying you then.
Alright, so to inform everyone, we have 2 missions at this current time.
I pull up now.
These are overreaching missions here. The first one is to deal with the pirate threat at this current time. Do what we can to assist, and eventually it will lead us to being able to complete our second mission. Our second mission is to return our noble friend over here to his home. As I understand it, there is a great darkness occurring inside your nation at this current time. My God has said so. Returning there is where the fight truly is. This fight will be eclipsed by all others.
Oh boy.
So we must do what we can to deal with the raiders here and now, before they are the enemy that comes up behind us and stabs us in the back.
How do you...
necessary, we use other groups of raiders to go against these raiders. We need to play the politics game. We need to play the war game. We need to cooperate with both arms of the National Navy as well as the Mercenary Navy. And hopefully, we can deal with this threat.
I mean, if something bad and evil is coming to the material plane, I'm all for stopping it.
It's not something that's coming. It's something that's already here now.
Really? How do you know this?
My God informed me something that would destroy our world if not dealt with. And it literally was about as vague as possible can be in the vision.
Must be nice to have a god that doesn't torture you in your dreams.
Oh no, this one was a torture in the dreams. Turns out I slept for nearly a whole day because of it.
Oh jeez. Okay.
I couldn't wake up. Love it whenever a god literally makes a long explanation and makes you forget 99% of it.
Oh, trust me, I know.
I feel like I've had a very similar experience.
You're all very strange.
I'm sure we can all say the same thing.
I feel I'm very normal.
Maybe you.
There's another dwarf curse.
Scheist.
I look at Sheehan and I'm like, Sheehan, have you ever heard of the realm of Shadowfell?
Never.
It's definitely not a nice place. It's basically a realm where all of the... It's a realm of undead.
What is undead?
Like, skeletons, zombies...
There's a skeleton inside of you. Like, you're not dead?
He takes a minute.
There's a skeleton inside you.
I feel like
Oh.
that scene from Scanners.
Mind blown.
But werewolves, vampires, goblins, just
All the bad shit.
all the bad shit. And I happen to be the unlucky soul that got trapped there. And I basically made a deal with an entity I shouldn't have, and that's where I get my powers. And I don't intend on going back unless I have to.
Is there a way for you from the inside to be able to find out what this great darkness is? That's
Oh, I know what
it
it. I know what it is. I've just closed myself off to it because.
No, is there a way for you
better
to
open
peer
yourself
in?
back up to the rest of us so we need to know what we're going up against.
Just open up, baby.
Because whatever it is like a cancer. It's spreading
Yeah.
faster and faster and faster.
I don't think it's that.
Whatever it is, it's flowing like water.
Yeah.
This may be a
Or like milk.
misinterpretation amongst conversation for the sake of Janster.
I'm basically going to explain to them. Basically, when I was younger, I wanted to be in the military, and on my first mission out, I was killed in a very horrific manner. And being the selfish prick that I am, I didn't want to die. So from what I remember, I made this deal with this entity who I've been calling the Shadow. And I point to the symbol I have drawn on my cloak. And it's essentially where I got my powers, but everything's fuzzy for me because I've been alive for a lot longer than I should. I know I'm a halfling and all, and we live a long time, but it feels unnatural.
Well,
And he just kind of quiets down.
Speak up if you want.
if killing demons it is, count me in.
I go to Janster and I'm like, there, buddy, and I like pat his arm 27 times.
Just
Like
for how
Thumper?
much-
Just for how many
But
pieces
for
of
a mouse is just like if somebody's poking you, just like
I'm like, I look at Bam, and I'm like, we're basically two sides of the same coin.
I think that he's the light
Yeah,
side, and you're the dark side.
pretty much. Yeah,
He's the small side.
I'm the small side. He's the smaller side.
I feel like
You're both small.
yeah.
There's a quarter and a penny that have been smashed together.
Alright, please, no rulers.
But yeah, he just kind of shuts himself off for the rest of the dinner. He's not even paying attention to the game anymore. He's just in his own head. And then he pipes up. He's like, he looks at the ones that were underground with him, and he's like, you remember when I was talking to the dead body?
I think I was in the mouse hole when that was happening.
I have a connection with the other side, and I basically can see spirits. And
What
I
happened to
made
Body?
a deal with that man's spirit to try to get him back to his homeland.
What will he
Wonder happened to Body.
That I don't know. That I want to find out.
Aros chimes in. You made a deal with a dead man.
Yes, I promised him that I would try to get his body back to his family.
The Churches would have taken possession of his body and started conducting his final wishing testimony.
Well, he said he was from an island, and that was about all I got from him.
Oh, that rounds it down.
I don't even know where we are. I walked out of an arena, popped up in Shadowfell in the same spot, and I blinked back.
I'll literally point, and he pulls out map. It's just like, that is where we are. Just
Show us on the
I point to
D&D Master, please bring up the regional map.
Well,
It is
I
right
point
there.
to the arena. Like, when you guys left the arena, I basically blinked into that same spot, but
it's Shadow.
the shadow realm.
You guys only have two maps. Just saying, in character, like within the party,
He's
you
got
have.
it with him.
Yeah, you guys only have a district map to the city, which I'll have to open up here. Oh, you already have that open. You have an incomplete seaways map that portrays just the landmass that you guys are on. And Babel knows where you are on the map and can point it out.
But
Where's enemy swordsman?
There's the incomplete seaways map currently.
I said, where's the enemy?
Points to the water.
Janister goes to the shadow realm.
It's the little Y shape on the south side, right above the.
He's pointing here. This
Yeah.
is where you guys currently are, because you have the map on the table now. This is where Kart Hadasht is. And this is the seaways. Again, it's an incomplete map in-game, as is out-of-game. And so far, the raider issue has been around here to here. So there's just a very small trickle of traffic.
So it's pretty much just choking off all that right there.
Yeah. The Navy is holding them off.
From enclosure.
And they're able to only get access to the colonies
I wonder if
that are along the shoreline of this island and a little bit here, but at the same time they're dealing the worst with the direct conflict with the raiders in this area and this area. Right here, they're trickling out to get to this traffic.
Roughly how many miles is that northern tip of that island to the primary landmass?
Ooh, you can't see it from the shoreline.
How many
for
day
sure.
travels?
I mean, it's not a channel. It's probably a.
Probably about 2 days, depending on how fast you go.
So each one of these squares is a day. A day ride.
About a day and a half to 2, depending again on how fast you're going on a ship. It depends on your makeup ship as well. Traders go
This is
slower.
what I suggest,
Probably the
guys.
one.
This northern island. I suggest we move up to that northern island. That's just to the north of us.
Yeah.
And we go around the shore of it with a small unit, if we can get our hands on it, and do everything we can to lock down this portion right here and cut off this entire eastern flank and let the Navy deal with those guys.
That could work.
But I guarantee you they have several ports as well as fortresses in this area.
Yeah, that
Or this plan would have gone, well,
The
easy.
amount of resources they have, you could gather. Sure, they have strongholds and points.
This is just an assumption,
So,
but you know what they say, assumptions make an ass out of you and me.
And then these land masses,
So-
they're probably like what, 3 days across?
They depend on, again, the geographic.
We'll
Whatever.
use a ship to go up the
just
east to...
just a flat, regular walkway. Would that be like 3 days or something like that? Maybe.
Well, they're not
okay.
flat. Again, this is an incomplete map, so you don't see the geographic.
Yeah, I'm just saying, just as a base.
If you stuck to the shoreline, it'd probably be the shortest amount of time.
And
Or by sea, of course, is quicker.
okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking. So if it takes a day and a half to 2 days just on the seas, it probably takes about 4 days to go across land.
Again, if you have a caravan going, it's going to be slower because you've got resources you're pulling, you got people you're pulling.
No, I'm just.
You're as slow as the slowest person in your caravan.
Yep.
Speaking of
Weakest
caravan.
is the weakest chain.
Speaking of caravan,
Weakest is the weakest link in a chain.
I need to go see a man about a horse and a chest.
I need to see a man about a dog.
Alright,
I need to see a crab
So-
about being a crab.
what do we have holding us here at this facility
I
at
need
this
to
current
see the
time?
I need to get
My
my.
point very
Okay,
quickly.
we need a ship.
I wanted to, just to speed this up. I wanted to be talking in my presentation.
Yeah, you can do that on at will.
Yes.
But I need to get my stuff. My
Alright,
chest has all of my.
Jaster needs to reacquire his equipment. I say you three go with Jaster.
Well,
And-
we're all headed to the Queen's Palace, right?
Wait,
Is
is
that the
lunchtime?
Queen's House? Okay.
I assume so. I need
Early
to
afternoon.
speak to Sandros because he might know where my stuff is.
Yeah, I'm going to speak to Sandros as well about our current status as a independent diplomat unit.
I would like to talk to him as well.
Oh, for God's sake.
You can ride with me if you want.
Yeah.
I may have some friends in the city, so I want to try to find them, and also
Take somebody with you.
my father himself, but he's a rogue, so he should come with me. But if you want to tag along,
Somebody
It's
go
up to you
with
guys.
Aros and get him geared,
I,
please. Help him make some good decisions.
I mean,
Sorry,
you could-
me. Okay, that one should definitely be me.
Okay, go have fun. Spend some money.
If I may,
someone introduce yourself as my apprentice.
Also,
Player
I
interjection.
need your family's crest.
if I may ask one more question. That's not
You got a signet ring?
Sheehan's trying to say something.
I do. Well, wait, guys. Is it? What about him?
What about me?
Who is-
He's part of the. He's a part of the. Are you part of the mercenaries?
Yeah, he's a mercenary.
Yeah, he's part of the mercenaries.
Sheehan bows in greeting to
Am I-
the
is
swordsman.
he with you?
What we do?
He was saying, "Are you part of the mercenaries?"
I asked if you're
I'm
part of
with
this.
I'm with the lady.
Hey, would you come with us?
I have to come with you.
I got him to come with us.
I've been assigned to you all.
I've
I've actually been waiting. I've been waiting in the tavern, or I stopped here at the tavern to eat, hoping to find you all on the road, but here you are, surrounding me with your table
And your bullshit.
and your bullshit.
We never actually did that.
I don't.
I still think it'd be funnier.
I mean, I thought you all did.
He
You were signed to us, now we are signed
we
to
said
you.
it, we did it.
He said
canonically we changed and did it.
he said he was assigned to you.
By the lady, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So who's he going with?
I'm going with you all.
Well, I
Me?
figured.
No, all of
He's
you.
talking about the party in general.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Oh, I was about to say we're going to somewhere that
illegal stuff.
yeah.
You guys
I wouldn't say that out loud.
I mean,
Saying that to me.
I'm
don't-
not saying that in character.
No.
I'm just
We're doing.
He's talking in character.
Say that to
Yeah.
me.
Hold up your son. If you're talking
We're,
to
Yeah, I
guys.
have a science right here.
We're
That's
we're
fine.
going to a place.
I'm always in the worst part.
We're going to go
Pretty
buy
honest
some
on the
stuff
guy.
from some people.
I want to see a man about a dog.
It's kind of
Man,
shady.
that a
It's
horse
kind of
is
shady.
turn.
Don't ask questions.
You're saying.
Okay.
Yeah, I
so
need to go speak to Sandros.
he wants to go to Asandros.
Well, if you guys are going to handle the diplomats, I was wanting to come with that, but I would rather let you guys do that so I can go. So I can try to find my stuff. Try to find some backing
Some more backing of a different sort.
of a different seedy sport.
So he's proposing he splits off the party.
I think
We just got
Glenn
back
and
together.
I think he said him and Glenn,
Yeah, mainly.
and then
So,
of course Van's coming with
I'd say by now with you guys shoveling food in your mouth, you've probably finished your meals and you're just trying to finish up.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Smash, did you actually hand me off your signet ring?
Yeah.
I have his signet ring.
And by the way,
I am all powerful. He just gave away basically
like-
a blank check. Dibs, running away. Mine.
I gave it to you just so you could draw
What
the
is-
actual
What does your signet look like?
the crest.
hmm
It's just a big.
I have no idea.
I think you described it before.
why don't you just why don't you ask your manservant to give him the crest, give
Yeah.
him his crest.
He doesn't have a crest. He's not a noble.
Well, I mean he has the he has.
You would
the-
see it's not on his finger.
I mean he has the insignia of the nobleman that he
Yeah,
serves
'cause he
under.
works for the family, right?
Not right now. He doesn't have anything of the sort on him.
Oh.
Alright.
Fun part about being a refugee, you kind of leave anything and everything that weighs you slightly down. Maybe you lose a good.
Okay, what?
He mentioned being a refugee.
What?
Babel mentions him being a refugee.
I believe so. What is his name again? Balthazar?
Balasar, but he does not speak the common tongue, so you probably wouldn't catch his name.
You'd have to tell it to me, and I'd have to translate.
There's a small group of Dragonborn currently living here in the city. They were refugees that were brought back from an expedition going west that I had funded. We found them in the Dankmire. Most of which were killed off.
Hey, they might have
By who?
plenty of Dragonborn.
Yep.
By who?
By the Dankmire itself.
No.
By the
This land and its funny
lambs?
By what's in it.
This
and
land is cursed.
Dankmire's their deal.
Hey.
You gotta realize,
That's
they've
my
come a
place.
long way. That's the only
And
reason we
it's-
know of your nation, is because of these people.
There's nothing like.
This is
Yeah,
the
well,
only
monsters
major
about
city.
We're gonna need to talk to them then, for sure.
that we've discussed.
After you go get Aros Kitty, go take a little trip over there and talk to your people.
Okay.
So I guess me, Bam, and Babel.
Hand off a patch or something like that that's got your family insignia on
I
it.
think it's Candy gonna come with us.
I'll just like flex one of my
Yeah, I
diamonds
don't
and
know
like,
what Sheehan's doing.
go like fangirl over
Don't-
here or something.
I think you wanted to go to the palace.
Yeah, man.
My character has absolutely no clue what's going on. in the area.
Well, we're just trying to figure out what we're doing. But I remember you saying something about wanting to visit the palace when you first met them.
Oh, true.
So is it settled?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's going where?
I think
Palace.
Palace.
Palace party, raise your hand. Okay.
I'm going with Aros.
Trader party. So Shamash and Aros.
Yep. And Balthazar.
Balasar is going to follow you, for sure.
Right.
You
I'm
guys
sure
are
he
going to
could
do your
lead
own
you
thing.
to the refugees.
Black hand.
Just
yeah.
a smash and his bitches.
Okay.
Black hand.
3 parties split.
Oh boy. At least
Yeah.
we're all in the same city and
What
we're
plan
not
do you
like
have?
teleporting to
What plans do you
different
have?
realms.
For now.
I'm going with you.
Oh yeah.
I didn't see.
I'm assigned with the party.
All right.
I was about to suggest you go with
expect me
him
to
and
beg
move
for
out of
gold.
trouble.
Just to say, let me get this.
Blame you.
Let me get this recorded, and I'll ask you a question.
Let him die.
It's not my skin.
Let's actually go through this one social encounter, and then I think we'll call it there.
Alright.
So,
I look fucking Amish in this damn character drawing now. You damn Amish.
You are Amish.
Have you heard about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ?
All right. Okay.
You look more meth than I.
You guys stack your trays on the. Stack your plates on the table.
I'm a rogue. We don't
Leave it. Nobody leaves tip because you're all dicks.
Did we even finish the base, or did I just sit there and drink the whole thing?
The whole point of
Smash
tipping
this,
is to pay for good service and expediency. That was the whole point.
You guys got your meals fast.
I was here
No
before
kidding.
these cunts.
Alright, being
Hey, I'm gonna
being
give-
serious though,
I'm
I'll
gonna
leave a
give
gold.
tip.
I'll leave a gold. That's it.
He leaves a goal. Okay.
If I can find my game
and
point back.
then
That's
No
fine.
one would expect a mouse to tip.
our waitress was a half
I don't
goblin,
understand this concept.
just nasty woman.
Ugly.
Anyway.
She kind of
Janster, Babel,
Sorry.
Bam,
Leaving 2 gold.
Iskander, Sheehan, all go 2 gold. Cool. Make sure you note that. This half of the party splits off with the 2 other parts, which also split off, and this side is what we're going to get to for this end of this. You guys are in the Plaza District.
I'm gonna switch back to the.
I send my bird up to start scanning for.
Just attack my sequel.
Okay.
Should I give you the? Should I do the UAV, or is this just out of
We'll get to that when because we're probably going to call it after we deal with their encounter. But we'll get to that next session. So we'll start the scan, and then we'll determine how far you have to go with it for it. These guys are in the Plaza District. They go off to the Queen's Palace, which Babel knows where it's at, so you don't really need direction anymore. The Queen's Palace is a large stone structure, multi-tier level, almost castle. It's more ornate than anything. Large colored painted pillars along the front of it, and a large set of gates of black metal. And there are 2 heavily armored guards on either side of the gates, standing guard, similar to the ones in the arena of before.
Damn it, I'm so tempted to peanut in one of them.
I wave.
Do they have the furly thingy on
The
the
plume?
top of the helmet?
Yeah, they have the plumes. They're in the full ornamentation.
Okay, I'm just gonna make a complete ass of my character as he goes by. He just goes, "Nyop."
He sighs
It's like hi, Babel.
in his full helmet,
You're lucky it's not like the British Queen
and he
Guards, at least.
says, "What is your business here, Babel?"
Well, got put in charge of dealing with the raider issue,
All right.
and now I need to go frickin' get an okay on a battle plan as well as getting established as an independent unit.
Oh, we didn't talk about getting
So,
That's up later.
who do you need to see?
I pipe up and like,
All of them.
All of them.
specifically for me,
Welcome to hell.
Sandros.
Just kidding, Sandros. Sandros, then
Probably
my
the
buddy that
surprise.
kicked me into the pit. And I can't remember his name because I'm an asshole.
Probably just Safed Hano and those guys.
Yep.
All right. If Sandros told you to come here, then I'll gladly let you through. I don't want to have any trouble with that old man. So he gives a nod to the other guard. He says, "They're going to see a Sandros," and the other guard just nods, and he opens up the gate. You can see through the gate. It's a large set of steps that go up an incline to an interior palatial building.
I wish I had a pair of scissors right now because I just snip like the back part of his plume off while he's not
Probably
paying
would
attention.
not go well, given.
Just wait for that one moment where nobody's paying attention.
They let you through, and you have the large staircase, as I said, that goes up into a central building. There are other buildings on a complex on the elevated position, and you follow the central route, and you go up and see attendants waiting on you to get to the top, and they say, "What is your business?"
Here to get established as an independent unit. Need to talk to Missandros.
All right, I'll follow me, please, and please stick together. And one attendant, it's a couple of them. One attendant walks you down a corridor.
I'm paying attention to Shien's like expression, seeing how he's taking in all of this.
Very just wide-eyed.
I imagine it's that scene from Kung Fu Panda where Po comes in and he's just looking at all the different.
I mean, without being like just he's just very like
I haven't showered all day.
very, very consistent
I've been going
smile,
since 9 a.m.
very wide-eyed about everything, just kind of like I still carry on like I need to focus, but very easily distracted by everything around.
It is very colorful. You see a lot of ornamentation of vases, statues, pillars that are hand painted, and whatnot. You go into a central. It's like a dome.
They would say there's several instances where following them, I would stop for a moment, like be very enthralled with something, and then have to like quickly kind of hustle back up to the group. Just off and on.
It's like a tour.
Yeah, like a tourist who is not paying attention to the door.
Yeah.
Or overly paying attention to the door.
Oh shit!
I need to go to the group.
You go to a large circular room. It appears to have a large dome structure, and you see that there are 2 seats, like thrones, in the center of this room with a wall behind them, like it's cutting it in half. And it's a smaller wall, so you still see over it and part of the dome, the beauty and ornamentation that they've got going on there. In both seats, you see the 2 men from before, the Suffates, and you see Isandros standing by them, as well as a 3rd side seat off a little bit to the side of them, more stationary, more temporary seating that the lady is sitting on. And they stop their conversation that they're having, and that was kind of being picked up by the rest of the room. You hear something about the lady and her business in the city-states, dealing with the traffic of the wars going on there. And then they have a hushed tone and look at you guys.
I'm waiting.
Isandros smiles and nods at Bam.
Yes.
And
I approach slowly and kind of do a take sort of a knee and be like, I have an inquiry. I was hoping you would help me with something. When I was, I guess, abducted, I had with me a chest, and he kind of maps out like it's about this big. It has a lot of my personal effects and trinkets.
Okay. Who are you speaking to directly? Are you just saying in general, or?
I'm talking to all 3 of them. I'm just talking to whoever's listening.
Isandro speaks up and says, "Your effects should be within the armory of the palace here, and we will get them to you when we can. Your other means should be with, I believe you had a cart?
I believe so. A cart and a horse.
Okay. We should have them in the royal stables.
Okay. Thank you.
We will get to them when we get beyond our business here." And Suffate Hano asks, "So, is it settled then? Are you going to help us in our hour of need?"
Yes, I've already started forming a crew.
A crew.
Fast and Furious.
Yes.
How big is your crew?
Currently, at this time, I believe we're at a dozen. I believe in total. So 3, 6.
Plus, we've got a couple NPCs.
10. Sorry,
Well, we also have our.
I don't know how many mercenaries are
no, I
going.
already counted them.
Oh, okay.
So 1, 2,
10.
3.
But there will be more joining us shortly. That I guarantee. Many from the churches will be joining the crew.
Oh, that's wonderful news. Hopefully that will be enough for your what was it, scouting that you were going to do?
No, we're going to war.
Interesting. And he turns and looks to the other Cephate, who just looks at you. He's not saying anything. The lady comments, "We're already at war. It affects us all."
That is why we're stepping up and doing what's necessary. As the people of this nation and the people of this region, we're going to fight the fuck back. My apologies for my language, milady.
Hano smiles.